Hi, my name is Minna Joffrey-Lindemulder, and you're joining us for another Snapshot Analysis with the New Lines Institute for Strategy and Policy. Today, I'm speaking with Eugene Chausovsky, our non-resident fellow who focuses on Russia and Eurasia. Eugene, can you tell me what Beijing is trying to achieve by supporting Russia?
Right. Thanks, Minna. So I think it's really interesting and important that Xi, in talks with Putin today, has pushed basically for Putin to hold negotiations with Ukraine, something that Putin wasn't willing to do before, on a settlement to the current conflict that we're seeing play out. So on the one hand, we have seen China really back Russia's position. It's spoken against any kind of Western sanctions, and it's called the West and NATO to take Russia's security interests into account. But on the other hand, we know that China is much more conservative when it comes to, major military action, and it wants to prevent a broader conflict which could, upend or really threaten the global economy and China's own interests. So on the one hand, it is supporting Russia, but on the other hand, it has a kind of moderating position, if you will, on Russian actions.
Great. And now that China has entered the conflict, at least diplomatically, with Russia, how does this change the way that the U.S. views this conflict?
So we've seen this conflict, and really going back to 2014, as a standoff between Russia and the West. That was the paradigm. This was, a battle for influence over frontline countries like Ukraine and other Eastern European states, either pulled into the Russian orbit or into the Western EU/NATO orbit. But I think as a result of this long standoff now that's been going on for 8 years, and we see that now really intensifying over the last couple of days, this is bringing in other players, particularly China. China has served as a sort of economic supplement to Russia, and also their strategic interests have aligned in challenging that Western order. So now the US, it obviously has its own issues with China, but now it has to factor in more and more that the Russia-China bloc, so to speak, is something that it has to respond to collectively rather than as individual or separate issues.